Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video will be part 1 of working on Matt's BMW e60. In today's video, we are going to be doing some maintenance things such as changing the oil, changing the coolant, flushing the power steering fluid out, and running new vacuum lines. Before I show you everything that's going into the car, I just wanted to give a massive shout out to FCP Euro for sponsoring today's video and making this video possible, so thank you. So here's all the parts that are going to go into the car today. We have a new expansion tank courtesy of FCP Euro because that one has a little crack and dipstick part isn't working. We also have an oil change kit using liquid moly. Some other stuff, we have BMW coolant, and then we also need to just top off power steering fluid. And lastly, we are running some new boost lines just because the BMW ones are a little bit old. So we are going to start with, I believe, the oil change. We're going to start with the oil change and then move on from there. So we're now going to remove the oil filter, and on BMWs, a lot of people over tighten these. There's no need to over tighten these. You should be able to undo it by hand. And we put a rag behind it just so oil doesn't go seep everywhere in the engine. Now put the oil filter right into a bag and dispose of it. Or you can send it back to, as Matt just said, you can send it back to FCP if you did buy your original kit through them for their lifetime guarantee warranty, which we will be doing next time we do an oil change on this car. We're now going to put the drain bolt back on, and we put a new crush washer. As you can hopefully see, there's a new crush washer on. Now, do not over tighten this bolt. It does not need to be that tight. I usually like to grab it somewhere down here, so I'm not over tightening it. Maybe just a little pull. And now the drain bolt is in, so now let's get up to the top of the engine and start putting the new oil filter in and add new oil. And I'm going to clean up that just so there's not residual oil dripping down. Now going to take off the old oil filter gasket. And then a lot of people don't know this. I mentioned this earlier, that people a lot of times over tighten this cap, and the reason why you don't need to over tighten is because you put some fresh oil on this gasket, and that actually helps expand the gasket, and that's why you can put it on loose, well, not too loose, but put it on relatively loose and it tightens itself up. Now we're going to run some oil around that, and we are using a MAN oil filter for the N54. Here's the part number. It is HU816X, and this comes with the crush washer right here. It comes with the oil filter gasket
right here. And then it comes with this other O-ring, which I'm almost positive is for other engines. I think our M52 uses these.
M54.
M54.
Now to put the filter in, it doesn't necessarily matter which way it goes.
Snug in there. Make sure it's seated all the way down. Then we're just gonna go as tight as we can get it with our hand.
And BMW does say to torque it, looks like it says to 25 Newton meters. If I'm reading it upside down, if I'm reading that correctly.
25 plus 5 Newton meters. So you go 25 Newton meters and then you go 30. That should be good.
We're now going to fill the car up with oil. And how many liters does this car take, Matt?
About 7.
About 7. So unfortunately, the N54 doesn't actually have a dipstick, which is really stupid, so we're gonna have to use the car's onboard computer to actually check the level, and the car is jacked up, so definitely do it while the car's flat, not jacked up when you're checking the oil level. So, correction, it's actually 6.5 liters of oil, so we are going to fill it up now. So we're now gonna remove this bottom belly pan. It's kind of broken over there, but we're gonna remove it so we can drain the coolant. And it looks like we do possibly have a coolant leak. We have some coolant sitting in there. Very little oil though, which is good, but definitely some coolant sitting on the pan over here. And I saw some up there, so we might, pretty sure there's a coolant leak going on. We'll investigate and let you know. So right now the fluid is draining out. It's kind of hard to show, but it was really a pain in the ass. Let me take you guys off the tripod. So it's gonna be really hard for you guys to see, but there's a red cap up there. You can probably just see the red cap in the distance. That is the drain port, and it's really difficult to get up there because the intercooler on this car, but we have a pipe running down, a little piece of tubing that's draining it very slowly, and it's not catching all of it, unfortunately, just the way that there's very little room for it to fit. There's something right in front of where the drain port is, so we did our best, but it's draining out, so we did something right. If you guys are wondering what Matt is doing, he is taking compressed air and pushing it down the expansion tank to push more coolant down so it drains quicker, because it's draining very, very slow.
Just a little bit, not a lot.
While we are waiting for the coolant to drain, we also decided to drain the power steering fluid. And there's a tube right there, that you can undo a connector, and it allows it to just drip. So let's see if we can go a little lower. Yeah, you can see the edge of the metal tube just dripping. So we're now going to fill up the power steering reservoir with new CHF 11S power steering fluid, which is recommended for this specific BMW.
We are gonna have to bleed this after by turning on the car and then turning the power steering, just turning the rack side to side a few times, and that should make sure all the fluid's through the system.
All right, we're now going to replace the expansion tank with the new one that FCP Aero sent to us. We did find where the leak is. The leak was coming from the lower hose that connects right here. It goes down a little bit. I'll give you guys a better view, but one of the O-rings appears to be leaking, and the part for it is $130. So we're gonna try to just replace the O-ring and spend it, instead of spending $130 on a stupid pipe.
So, all right, so we pulled the O-ring out of this hose. It sits in a little slot in there, and this is what it looks like. We're gonna go to Ace Hardware and try to find the right one for it. And if we do find one that closely matches, we can tell you the size down in the description below.
We are now going to install the new expansion tank. We are now going to fill the car up with coolant and then show you guys the bleeding procedure of how to bleed the system. Before we fill up the coolant, I do need to shut the drain port at the bottom. So we are now going to fill the car up with coolant till we're at the midline on the dipstick. One thing to note, that we are using genuine BMW coolant, which you should be using in your BMW just because it is phosphate free. This coolant does not come pre-mixed. So this is a full gallon of, when you buy it, is a full gallon of actual coolant. We pre-mixed it with distilled water. So this should be about a 50-50 mix depending on your climate. So this has already been pre-mixed with 50-50. So we now are at the max line. You can see right here with the dipstick. I like to just push it down and see if it floats back up, and we are at the max line. We are now going to put the expansion tank cap on and bleed the system, which we will show you how to bleed the system. And this is very important because there's still air in the system, so we're gonna pump more coolant through the car, and then this level will suck some down, and then we'll have to refill and repeat the process. One thing to note, we're hooking up a battery tender before we bleed the system just because it can kill the battery. So Matt's just hooking up a battery tender, and we'll show you how to bleed the coolant. This is very important, or else you could come back to a dead battery just because the water pump will be continuously running for around 12 minutes. So Matt's now gonna go over the bleeding procedure for the E60 to bleed all the coolant.
All right, so first we need to make sure the ignition is on. Don't start the car. So click the start button twice, put it in position 2, and then turn the blower to the lowest setting, and then the heat to max. And then we're gonna press our foot on the pedal for pretty sure around 10 seconds. And then you'll hear the water pump start to kick on. There it is. Then you can let off.
So this procedure runs for around 12 minutes, correct, Matt?
Yes.
So this procedure is going to run for 12 minutes, and then we'll come back to you after. So Matt is now going to show you how to bleed the power steering fluid. So all you're going to do is turn the wheel from the right to the left. It just gets fluid down in the actual rack, and then we can check the level again. That's all you have to do to bleed the power steering.
All right guys, so this is a quick tutorial on how to check your oil level. So we're gonna press and hold on the scroll wheel to bring us into maintenance and everything, and go down to service info, and then service requirements, and you will probably be in the status section. We need to clear a few of these. So then you're gonna go up to engine oil level, and there you go, right there. It did take a few minutes to read, but it looks like very nice amount of oil in there. There's only one more tick that it could be, but that's good.
So you saw us complete the procedure of bleeding the coolant, bleeding the power steering, and checking the oil. Unfortunately, we did not get to the vacuum lines in this video, but that will be for another video. So we did take care of a couple maintenance things that definitely should be completed on any BMW right when you first get it, and especially because we want to tune this car. We want to make sure everything is 100% good. We know the expansion tank was probably on the way out. We saw a coolant leak that we took care of and definitely needed an oil change. So we took care of all of those items in today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Big shout out to FCP Euro. If you want to buy parts with a lifetime guarantee warranty, check the link down in the description. It will be a link to FCP Euro's site. I absolutely love this company. I buy all my stuff from them just due to the lifetime guarantee that you have all your parts replaced, oil changes, wiper blades, anything that's even usable you can have replaced. So definitely check out the link below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on the E60. Unfortunately, my E46 is going into the shop this coming Friday, the 28th, I believe, to have new quarter panels put on. So you will not be seeing the E46 on the channel for a little bit, probably around 2 weeks. But once we're back, definitely be back with some videos, especially doing the alarm install. So look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.